Your brain avoids hard tasks because it prioritizes immediate dopamine and energy conservation. But this reward system can be retrained. 2. By manipulating dopamine timing, discomfort exposure, and neural adaptation, you can condition your brain to crave effort instead of avoiding it. **number #script. Let me ask you something important. Why is it so easy to scroll for hours, but so hard to sit down and do the work that would actually change your life? Why does your brain resist the gym, deep work, studying, difficult conversations, even when you know those things are good for you? Today, we are going to solve that problem. The issue is not laziness. It is not a lack of willpower. It is not that you are broken. The real problem is that your brain has been trained to crave comfort and instant dopamine and avoid controlled discomfort. The good news is this: the same brain that avoids hard things can be trained to crave them. Your brain operates on a reward prediction system driven largely by dopamine. Dopamine is not the pleasure molecule, as many people think. It is the motivation molecule. It arises in anticipation of reward, not after the reward itself. Modern environments flood this system with fast, effortless rewards, notifications, short videos, sugar, constant novelty. As a result, difficult tasks feel unrewarding by comparison. When you attempt something challenging, studying, building a business, intense training, your brain initially registers it as a threat to energy conservation. The prefrontal cortex must work harder. Glucose demand increases. Effort feels uncomfortable. So your nervous system subtly pushes you back toward easier behaviors. But here's what most people do not understand. The dopamine system is adaptable. It recalibrates based on what you repeatedly expose it to. The first principle is this: stop rewarding yourself before the effort. If you consume high dopamine stimulation early in the day, scrolling, junk content, excessive sugar, your baseline drops. Hard tasks feel even harder because your brain is comparing them to artificial stimulation. When you delay easy rewards and attach dopamine to effort instead, your brain begins rewiring the association. Second principle: use controlled discomfort as neurological training. When you voluntarily do hard things, cold exposure, intense exercise, focused work without distraction, your brain releases dopamine after completion. Research shows that dopamine rises not only during reward, but after overcoming effortful challenges. Over time, your nervous system begins linking effort with reward. This is how craving is built. Third principle: shrink the threat response. Your amygdala reacts to uncertainty and perceived difficulty. Large, undefined tasks trigger avoidance. But when you break hard tasks into small, clearly defined actions, the threat signal decreases. The brain is far more willing to engage when effort feels measurable and finite. Instead of write a book, the task becomes write 200 words. Instead of get in shape, it becomes 10 minutes of movement. The brain does not resist effort. It resists overwhelming uncertainty. Fourth principle: repeat exposure until identity shifts. Neuroplasticity depends on repetition. Each time you complete a difficult task, neural pathways associated with resilience strengthen. Over weeks, your baseline changes. What once felt uncomfortable begins to feel normal. Eventually, not doing hard things feels uncomfortable. That is the shift you are aiming for. There is also a metabolic component. Sleep deprivation, poor nutrition, and chronic stress impair prefrontal cortex function. When this region is compromised, impulsive behavior increases and discipline decreases. If you want your brain to crave difficulty, biological stability is essential. Sleep regulates dopamine receptors. Protein supports neurotransmitter production. Movement increases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, enhancing adaptability. You cannot out-discipline a dysregulated nervous system. Now understand this clearly. Forcing your brain does not mean aggression. It means conditioning. You are training your reward system the same way you would train a muscle. Remove excessive instant dopamine. Delay gratification. Attach reward to effort completion. Expose yourself to controlled discomfort daily. Break tasks into defined, achievable segments. Repeat consistently. At first, it will feel unnatural. That is expected. Your brain is recalibrating. But within weeks, motivation begins to feel different. Hard tasks create a subtle internal pull rather than resistance. The brain learns what you repeatedly teach it. If you constantly choose comfort, it craves comfort. If you consistently choose effort, it begins to crave growth. The goal is not to eliminate discomfort. The goal is to associate discomfort with progress. And once that shift happens, discipline is no longer something you force. It becomes something you want.